Bitcoin is quite the buzzword right now. Everyone wants a piece of Bitcoin. My grandma wants a piece of Bitcoin. But for the average person, Bitcoin doesn't make sense. How does something made up of ones and zeros have any sort of value? To understand this, we have to dig deeper into the foundation of Bitcoin, the blockchain. In today's video, we're going to look at the basics of blockchain so that we can understand how cryptocurrencies and digital assets work in future videos. So hit that like button and let's get started. Let's say you're a farmer who sells chocolate milk from your chocolate cows. I grew up on a farm. I know how chocolate milk works. Well, every time you sell chocolate milk, it gets packaged up in a special sealed container. The initial scan is then recorded at your farm, and the information is sent to the distribution center and the grocery stores that your precious cargo will pass through on its way to the consumer. At the distribution center, the sealed containers are scanned, and the location and status of each are recorded at the center. This information is also sent to the grocery store and your farm in order to be recorded as well. Literally anything that happens to these containers in transit is then recorded, and the information is sent to your farm, the distribution center, and the grocery stores. This is the blockchain in one of its simplest forms. Think about it this way. The blockchain is a set of information that isn't stored in any one server, but is stored in individual computers across an entire network. In this case, everything that happens to these containers of chocolate milk is recorded separately at each of the 3 facilities. Then, God forbid, if anything happens to the chocolate milk, the event can be located on the transportation timeline. Not only that, but it can be verified by all the other facilities by looking at all the other copies of the blockchain. Then if any copy of the blockchain is tampered with, the information can be checked and verified by every other facility. Now, let's say that there's a listeria outbreak after many customers have purchased your chocolate milk and hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Officials can trace back the path of the chocolate milk through transit to find out what happened. If there's no issue recorded by any container during transport, they'll likely show up at your farm and require a thorough cleaning as well as confiscation of any chocolate milk that you have. No. Oh, it's just a dream. Whoa, we're back. Now, if there was someone that tampered with the containers on the truck, each container would record this and officials could determine when the contamination occurred. Or maybe containers were damaged at the distribution center. If the manager didn't want the responsibility of lost product, he could hypothetically change the distribution center's copy of the blockchain so that it showed no issues. And that's the beauty of the blockchain. The damaged containers could be verified by looking at the information recorded at the grocery stores and your farm. Remember, each location has its own separate copy of the blockchain. Now, while the blockchain can make food sourcing a much safer experience, it also can make many other industries more secure, including the financial space. Now, before we get into the very basics of blockchain as the foundation of Bitcoin, we gotta thank our sponsor, Firewood. I'm gonna be honest, I smell like freshly sawn firewood right now. Josiah helped me clean up a lot more brush on our property tonight.
Oh, we are gonna have some nice firewood.
So now I have a nice stack of firewood and a very large pile of brush to burn.
Hey Jack, what do you think about all this firewood, huh? You excited? Oh, it's gonna be a nice fire.
As I've mentioned, the blockchain is the very foundation of Bitcoin. The blockchain is stored individually on computers across the world that verify transactions of Bitcoin. Whenever Bitcoin is transacted, these computers verify it across the network before the transaction can be completed. When the transaction is complete, it's added as a block or a section of a block to the chain of transactions stored on each computer across the network. This reduces the chance of issues arising within the blockchain. If any one computer is compromised or there's an issue with the record, it can be corrected by referencing the rest of the computers within the network. Thus, no one can tamper with the blockchain because no single person or company has access to every computer within the network. Another benefit of Bitcoin's blockchain is that it's completely transparent as a public record. Anyone can access the information within this blockchain. This isn't to say that people's personal information is compromised, just that every transaction can be viewed by someone if they have that desire. And now you know the basics of blockchain. I wish we could get into more about how Bitcoin works, but we're gonna have to save that for another video. For the time being, try your hand at explaining the blockchain to someone else to see how well you really know it.
So that's how blockchain works. You don't care, do you?
So I'm curious, how comfortable are you with putting some of your hard-earned money into Bitcoin after understanding a little bit more about how it's run. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Personally, I'm not invested in it right now. As much as I'd like to be, it's very volatile and I like the predictability of the stock market, if the word predictability can be used. As always, hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell if you found this content valuable. And remember, cryptocurrency may be confusing, but money doesn't have to be. You can control it. And now time for our campfire. No, not with the tiny desk, with the firewood.